Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles, and today's video is going to be all about trade lines. So what are trade lines? Why are people purchasing trade lines and still being denied on credit applications? And what should I look for, or what should I be focused on in terms of building my credit in order to be able to obtain the car that I want, or a credit card, or the home that I want? So I'm going to be going over some information in this video that I think would be really, really helpful to those that are questioning trade lines and what they can do in terms of building their credit in order to be able to finance different things. I do want to let you all know that I am a former loan officer. I was a loan officer for about 3.5 years at a credit union. And what a loan officer is that's the person where when you call into like a bank or a credit union, or you go in and you schedule an appointment to do a loan application for like a vehicle, credit card, line of credit, personal signature loan, things like that. They're the person that takes the application and pretty much like writes up a summary to send to the underwriters, who then approve or deny the loan, and then they let you know the decision. And at that point, you all can work on, okay, this is what needs to happen before we can approve you for this, or we weren't able to approve you for this, but we could get you approved for this, so on and so forth. So that not only are they the liaison between you and the underwriter, they're also the one that initially gets your information and writes up the summary, like I mentioned, for the underwriter to review. So it's a very important process, or a person in the loan process. So I'm going to be, again, sharing information in regards to my inside information from working as a loan officer. So if you are interested, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into this video. So I was motivated to make this video because not only do I get questions pretty frequently about credit building, because a lot of people know that I used to work in the financial industry. However, I also get questions as to, well, okay, I did this, I did that, and I'm still not able to get the card that I want, and I'm still not being approved for this, and I can't get an unsecured credit card. All the credit cards that I'm approved for are secured. Like, what's going on? I do want to say this. There are a lot of get rich quick schemes out there, and there's also a lot of build your credit overnight or in 30 days type of things as well. I'm not here to point the finger or say which services you shouldn't work with. All I'm saying is, in my experience, it always works best to do things the right, ethical way. I'll just say that and leave it right there. So the first thing that I want to go into in this video is talking about what a trade line is. But before I do that, please make sure that you are subscribed. Please make sure that your post notifications are on. And just know that I do a lot of different types of videos on this channel, credit-wise, business-related videos, vlogs, a lot of things. So if you are interested in credit only, I do have a playlist of credit videos to choose from as well. So you can check that out after this video. Okay, to get started, what a trade line is. A trade line is simply a account that you have established with some type of lender. So a trade line can literally be a credit card. A trade line could be an auto loan. A trade line can be a signature personal loan. A trade line can be a line of credit. A trade line can be a mortgage. Literally, a trade line is just a account that you have established with a lender. Now, the importance of a trade line, when I was looking at different applications as far as what to send up to the underwriter and recommend approval on versus what to send up and recommend denial on, I would look at the type of trade line it was. And also, so is it a secured trade line? Is it an unsecured? Secured trade lines are like auto loans, mortgages, recreational loans. An unsecured trade line would be like a credit card, line of credit, things like that. Credit builder loan. I would look at the difference between what the trade lines are. Also, financial industries a lot of times look for how long you've had that specific trade line, and also how well you were able to keep up with it. So do they make their payments every month on time? Have they been typically 45 days late on this trade line every month? Do they get trade lines and then after 6 months stop paying them? So getting a trade line, because I there's a lot of people that I've heard and I hear talking about purchasing trade lines. There's a lot of advertisement on social media. Purchase a trade line, your score is going to go up like this. It's going to go from 500 to 745 days. And although a trade line definitely can build your credit, because again, when you are looking at building your credit, it's broken down into different pieces. So having accounts definitely is going to help build your credit if you pay the accounts on time. So again, trade lines can help build your credit. But again, that's not the only thing that is required in order to get you approved for loans. Now, I do want to put this out there too. Every financial industry is different. So every financial industry has different criteria of what it takes for you to get approved. However, typically, the information that loan officers are looking at, underwriters are looking at are typically the same. Again, they're not exactly the same. It does vary lender by lender. But typically, financial industry is going to want to make sure that your credit score is in line. But keep in mind, even people that have a 700 credit score have been denied for loans. I've seen it personally happen. People would come in and apply for loans, especially when I was new starting off as a loan officer. I would think automatically because this person had a 720 credit score, they were going to be approved immediately, like no questions down. But that's not the only thing that was being looked at. We also looked at their debt to income. So, okay, although you have a 700 credit score, I haven't seen your ability to pay on any secured loan. So I've seen that you on your trade lines, looking at your credit report, you have a credit card with a limit of 500, and then you've had a credit builder loan. So based on those two things alone, it boosted your score to 700. However, you're now applying for a car loan that's over 25,000. So at this point, when you have a credit card trade line for 500 as the credit limit, and then you also had a credit builder loan for, let's say, $1,000, at that point, that doesn't put confidence into a lot of lenders that you're able to pay the $20,000 auto loan by itself. Just looking at those two trade lines are not going to necessarily get you approved just off of having those two trade lines and a high credit score. So they also are going to look at your debt to income a lot of times. So, okay, this is good as far as he's balanced the credit card or she's balanced the credit card with $500. Okay, but let's see if their debt to income is in line. So they'll look at how much money you're receiving in versus how much you have out. And if you have $1,500 of available credit with the, credit builder loan, which is typically not available funds with the credit builder loan, but just go with me for the example. Let's say it's $1,500. That's not bad. So they're going to look at the debt that you have versus the income that you have. And then they're also going to add in that $20,000 auto loan that you're considering and see if you have enough money to cover all of your expenses. Now, that was an example on the lower end of debt. But if you take into consideration other, debts that people may have, other credit cards, other medical bills, sometimes the lenders will write off medical bills, student loans, sometimes they will ignore or exclude the student loan, trade lines as well. When I say write off medical bills, I'm referring to excluding those as well. And they also will take into consideration anything that you've co-signed on, any other auto loans that you have. They'll just look at your overall credit profile and also your debt to income associated with that. Not only will they look at your debt to income to make sure that you can afford such a loan, they'll also look at your stability. So like things like how long you've been at a certain job, how long you've owned or rented the current residence that you're in. They'll look at things like that as well. So to sum it up, when people ask on social media, in real life, hey, if I get a trade line, can I get any car that I want, any house that I want? It's not just getting a trade line. It's not just opening a trade line that's going to get you approved the majority of the time. It goes into a lot of other factors that weigh in on that decision. And I can let you know that being a member with a credit union or a bank for some time, like establishing a history so they can look back and see, okay, well, this person typically keeps this amount in their account with us. This person doesn't overdraft. This person has been a good member or a good customer to us. So, okay, that's a good point. Also, this person has been on the job for 5+ years. So that also is something, or this person has owned a business and filed taxes on the business for over 10 years. So this is someone that shows stability in the fact that they're able to continue to generate consistent income. Also, this person has stayed at this residence for this amount of time. So they've demonstrated the ability to be able to pay their mortgage or their rent. So this is a person that may be able to pay this auto loan that we're going to give them. Also, they have trade lines, and based on the history of their trade lines, they've paid X and X and X on time. I don't see any late payments. And if I do see a late payment, it was during like COVID or something like that they could explain, and it made sense. Their debt to income. So they don't have more debt than income. Everything is in line. So they can financially afford this loan if we were to approve them for it. So don't get wrapped up in just the credit score. A lot of times when you get approved, the lending institution will look at the credit score as a way to determine what interest rate you're getting approved at. That's why some people can get approved for auto loans at like 4%, and some people are getting approved at like 25%. So having a good score definitely helps, but that's not the only thing that you need to get approved. Having trade lines, positive trade lines, can definitely help, but that's not the only thing you need to get approved. So it's really important to work on an overall credit health instead of focusing just on a score or just on a trade line. What can I do to make sure that I look the most responsible period when I go and apply for a loan? What can I do to make sure that I am being stable in all of my actions and the loans that I take out and the jobs that I decide to take and the jobs that I decide to not take? Also having reasons, if you're going to be job hoppy, as to why you are job hoppy. I left this job because this job it was paying me more money, or this job had better benefits. Again, people can understand reason, but at the end of the day, financial institutions are wanting to make sure that if they lend you something, they're going to be able to get a profit back from what they lent you. That's the whole purpose of it. It's not just being able to dish out a loan. It's, their mentality is, let me give them this loan, charge interest so that we continue to make money back for our institution. If they feel like they're going to give you a loan and they don't have enough proof that you're going to be responsible enough to pay it back, that's not really responsible on the institution's end, if it makes sense. So I just wanted to put that out there and kind of bring more of an understanding in regards to what a trade line is and how it can benefit you or not. So if you are interested in more videos like this, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I do want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.